Hello everyone, welcome to another typewriter review video. Today's topic, my 1969 Royal 440. Now before I start, we're in another different setting. The reason for that is my work area over there is completely cluttered with typewriters and pieces because I took too many apart at once. Classic story. So I just set up here and I hope you have enough, you can see enough. I only have these two fluorescent desk lamps here to light this area now, so I hope it's enough. But anyway, to the topic at hand. A Royal 440. Amongst collectors, they're considered to be a bit of the hunchback of typewriters. Cosmetically, they're not that good looking. Finding one of these in mint condition or in very good condition, cosmetically, I think it's nearly impossible. Most of the times these will have worn paint, dents, dings, because the body material was not that strong and the paint that they put on was done very well. It was not done badly, but the paint was very poor. And I've yet to come across one that doesn't have scratches and dents. This one is not different. I mean, when I show the close-ups, you'll see that this has had its fair share of abuse. However, the reason I like these machines, and that's the main reason I'm even talking about this, is because mechanically these things are sound. They're incredibly strong and well built, and that's the reason I like these. I also have a 470, which I will make a video of, and well, I'll make another video of, but mechanically they're not different. Royal didn't change very much. Even from the 20s on to the 70s, the mechanics really remained pretty much the same. And the mechanics that are installed with this machine are pretty much exactly the same as in, for example, a Royal FP. They just look a lot different. The story behind this machine, and this is a funny one. I got this machine 6 or 7 years ago. I bought it from a friend for 10 bucks. I cleaned it up, then I put it on Craigslist and I sold it again for a bit of a profit. Early this summer, I think it was in July, I get a call from another friend who happened to have bought out a storage locker in a city about 150 kilometers away from here. And he says, "Oh, I found a typewriter, do you want it?" I said, "Sure, I'll pick it up, for free. I'll kick it in a corner, I'll clean it up one day and I'll sell it again." Turns out it was this Royal 440, and it came back. That was the first thing that stood out to me. It's like, I have owned this machine. I sold it 5 years ago. All of a sudden it was back in my hands. The only thing was it looked a lot worse than when I sold it. The back paneling was completely misaligned and then one had broken off. There was a significant amount of rust down here by the key levers. It was really bad. It had been abused after I sold it. It was kind of sad to see it. It was in pieces. But the story behind this typewriter was even more dark. The owner that I sold the machine to, she vanished. She disappeared from the face of the earth. The police doesn't even know where she is. She's been gone for half a year. And along with the typewriter was her passport, her birth certificate, all family photos. It was, yeah, quite disturbing to realize that the person I sold this thing to, no one knows where she is. But anyways, to turn to the typewriter, I'll just go over the functions irregularly. It really comes down to an ordinary Royal standard typewriter, but I want to emphasize on how well built these machines are. So stick around for a typing sample and a bit more in-depth review. The lighting conditions aren't the best, so I apologize in advance, but I hope you can see it. So the work I've done to this machine, it was quite extensive. I've taken all the body paneling apart, the entire carriage I took off, and then I thoroughly cleaned it. My method usually includes lighter fluids, Remington gun oil, things like that, and it came out really nice. There we are. So I've installed a reasonably new ribbon, at least a well-inked ribbon. The spools that are on here are plastic, but they are original Royal spools, so they work well. Now, as you can see, I hope you can see, the mechanical system extends from about this point to this point. There's about 3 inches, I'm going to say, well, maybe a bit less, 2.5 inches of empty space which the body provides, which makes this machine so ginormous. Like I said, the mechanics only extend about this far, all the way to the back of the carriage. So it's funny to see how they designed this. This is all pointless, really. You could have cut off the machine over here, and it would have become a way smaller machine. Now, you probably would think, oh, okay, they have installed sound padding. This is done to reduce the noise of the machine. But it hasn't. There has never been sound padding here, which is weird. The entire machine, the only sound padding is underneath the cover, as you can see. So it makes you wonder how they came up with this, but that's why these machines are so big. The carriage, on the other hand, does extend this far mechanically as well. The reason for that is that these machines have the Royal Magic Margin system. So they have the extra bar that runs in the back with the loaded springs. The main Magic Margin spring that was installed here in the back was really bad, so I replaced it with a new one, and the mechanism works way better now. Now you can probably tell here in the back, there's a dent here. There's a dent here, it's kind of folded up actually. That's why the panel doesn't really line up well over here either. There's more cosmetic damage, but that's about the worst I can see. The other is just scratches and paint chips. So this was already present when I got the machine 6 years ago, so it's been there for a long time. I've tried tapping it out, I was unsuccessful at it, so I stopped trying. There's more damage to the cover, as you can see. There's paint chipping here. Underneath this tape, which was put on by my friend many years ago, there's also a significant scratch, but I think the solution works well. But again, I mentioned before, this machine is not cosmetically as good as it is mechanically. Mechanically, these things are perfect. Royal never reduced their quality. There's not much that can go wrong with these machines, and if it goes wrong, it is very easily replaceable. The only real mechanical issue that this machine currently has is that when you press the shift lock, the basket will rise slightly back up when you release the button, which means that the alignment with the shift lock key imprints and the lower cast or shift impressions do not line up very perfect. Now you would say that's a very easy fix, because you would just adjust this lever down here and make sure that the lever doesn't pop up a few millimeters in order to prevent a misalignment. But it's a little bit more complicated than that. I will not go into details about it because it needs to be quite visual for me to explain it. But the reason comes down to it that I have to make mechanical adjustments inside for the machine in order to correct this issue. Just put the cover back on. Now you have your standard functions. You have your line. You have your line spacer here. You have 1, 2, and 3 line spacing. Your ratchet release, your magic margin. Here's your carriage release, bell, and you have your paper release here. This machine has the 3-point paper bell, as all Royals came with. I think from the the early 30s Royal 10 onward. Now you have your color selector, you have a touch control, tab clear, tab, so all the standard functions that a big machine like this would ordinarily have come with. Here on the back it says this is a Lytton Royal, which is what that indicator is, so it indicates you that it is a late Royal. I think Lytton was added to Royal in the mid-1960s, so a Royal FP wouldn't have had this logo, but this one does. And a Royal 470, which I'll be reviewing later, also has this. So if you're in a market for a typewriter that, well, you know, it's more functional, it's functional more than anything else, I highly recommend these machines because they're so well built, they will last a very long time. And even after all the abuse that this machine's had, it works magnificently. And I really want to strongly emphasize that, because I've had machines that were abused and they were clapped out. I've had Remington noiselesses that were that sat outside for 1 week. They would never work again just because all the linkages and so forth were so badly rusted. This thing, you know, it had a misaligned carriage. The key lock mechanism was completely jammed on. There were numerous issues with this machine that rendered it non-functional. But all of those issues were fixable, and just going over this, I've discovered that this machine is in fact very healthy. So in general, I'm a big fan of Royal standard typewriters. If I have to say, you know, you want to find a cheap, you know, it's butt ugly, but you want to find a cheap well-functioning typewriter. You know, a Royal FP, a Royal 440, you can't really go wrong with that. If you're looking for a bit more physical appeal and still the Royal mechanism, the Royal Empress I would recommend, although I'm personally not a huge fan of those. I've never had one, I've only seen once or twice. One was blue, which I liked. These also came in blue, by the way. But yeah, all the mechanisms are the same from Royal FP onwards, and you can't really go wrong with this. So, anyways, stick around for a typing sample, and then I hope you stick around for the next video as well. Thanks for watching!